All right, what's going on, guys, and welcome to another Blockchain Future. Hope everybody had a great day. I ran into this article by Kleiner Perkins. If you're not aware who Kleiner Perkins is, I will actually be going over their history here in a second, really quickly, before I jump into this article that was written by Monica Desai. So she has a little graph here of the 2013 through 2015 bear market and the 2017, 2018 bull market and bear market, and how they stack up against each other. But I thought this was pretty interesting because Kleiner Perkins is a venture capitalist firm that was established pretty early on in Silicon Valley in the 70s. And when they come out and say some of this stuff, you should listen. This is kind of investor based, but it does go into the business aspects of crypto a little bit deeper. So it's not just about money and investments, it's about the business and what's going on with crypto in general. But let me go over quickly about Kleiner Perkins and who they are so you guys can get caught up on that if you don't know who they are. Kleiner Perkins, formerly Kleiner Perkins Caulfield and Byers, is an American venture capital firm headquartered on Sand Hill Road in Menlo Park in Silicon Valley, specializing in investments and incubation, early stage, and growth companies. Since its founding in 1972, the firm has backed entrepreneurs in over 850 ventures, including America Online, Amazon, Compaq, Electronic Arts, JD.com, Square, Genentech, Google, Netscape, Sun Microsystems, Nest, Synac, Snap, AppDynamics, and Twitter. Kleiner Perkins focuses its global investments in practice areas including technology and life sciences. The Wall Street Journal and other publications have called it one of the largest and most established venture capital firms, and DealBook named it one of Silicon Valley's top venture capital providers. In addition to its Menlo Park headquarters, the company has offices in San Francisco and Shanghai, China. So they are very big, and obviously with that kind of portfolio or resume, they have backed a lot of successful companies. So like I said, when they come out and make a statement about what's going on in the crypto sphere, we should listen. So I'm going to go ahead and go over this. Kind of goes where we've been and then goes into where we're headed. So let me start off with this. Where we've been. Despite all the Game of Thrones signs around town, winter is here in crypto land. After an explosion of altcoins and funding, technical constraints and regulatory angst have taken over the headlines. Still, the frenzy of the past 2 years set the stage for the next wave of adoption with a steady inflow of talent and new, uniquely compelling use cases of digital assets. 3 themes dominated the space's mindshare in 2018. Protocol gaps exposed, which led to novel approaches. Algorand, Dfinity, and EOS raised deep war chests to tackle scalability, while the Lightning Network gained traction with network capacity up to 7 times in the past 4 months. 57 projects have announced stablecoin initiatives with DAI, TrueUSD, and USDC gaining traction as Tether shrank. DPoS, or Democratized Proof of Stake, gained steam with staking as a service emerging as a business model. Institutional money on the sidelines. Regulators deemed Ethereum not a security, but started to crack down on predatory ICOs. Startups embraced regulations, acquiring broker deals and launching the first qualified crypto custodians. Established brands announced entry, example being ICE with Backed and Fidelity with Custody. Burgeoning customer innovation, last point. Augur and other dApps launched, accelerating development with storage, decentralized exchanges, and games accounting for the lion's share of dApp engagement. CryptoKitties bred the formalized non-fungible token, which enabled new types of digital assets from invoices to game components and virtual land. Governments like Sweden trialed a land registry on the blockchain, while Finland used blockchain for refugee identification. And these are actually great use cases that I'd like to get deeper into. As I've stated in previous videos, there's so many uses for blockchain beyond just crypto. And that's why I wanted to read this article that they wrote up. All right, where we're headed. Here are the 5 areas we're eager to see evolve in 2019. Institutional investors have long relied on financial infrastructure to manage the tens of trillions of global assets under management. The top 4 custodians alone have a market cap of over 550 billion. Yet much of the existing infrastructure will not immediately port to crypto given cyber and physical security risks. Lack of insurance, regulatory uncertainty, new tech stacks, and complexities introduced by protocol nuances such as staking. Meanwhile, crypto has captured institutional investors' attention with low correlation to other assets and tremendous return potential. While that uptake has been slow, digital assets appear to be a logical additive component when constructing a diversified modern portfolio. As such, we've seen potential in the full stack of financial infrastructure necessary to meet institutional needs: custody, prime brokerage, liquidity, derivatives, research, margin lending, and so on. We see Anchorage, Skew, Compound, and others as the first wave of many businesses in this space. I've gone over Compound a few times, being a lending service in decentralized finance. And what they're saying here is that the infrastructure wasn't there during the last bull run, and it is now a lot of services have been built up. And we're starting to see more and more things like custody services, derivatives, research, just lots of different areas that are being built out right now, so that things are looking much more interesting, and it's making investors feel a lot better about investing in the space. Security tokens. Crypto's core functionality around immutability and smart contracts has reimagined the need for trust and intermediaries in a powerful way. This is powerful across 3 major use cases: digitally wrapping real-world assets like the $11 trillion of U.S. commercial real estate to enable fractional ownership and secondary liquidity. I actually have a video about that, and it's actually popping up in the corner right now. It's about tokenizing the global debt market. This is more about real estate, but it's kind of the same thing. Being able to actually own a fraction of a piece of real estate. Also, there's the STO video that I did, which gets further into this. That's popping up right now. You can own just a piece of real estate, like, one token can be $100 worth of a building, which opens things up for a lot more people to own real estate. And by actually having real estate tokenized, it actually can turn that real estate into an actual kind of currency. So you can actually pay somebody in that token, which makes it completely, that's why they're saying secondary liquidity. Number 2, representing traditional financial instruments to transform lengthy and sometimes week-long settlement and improve transparency of assets like the $1 trillion of U.S. leveraged loans. Number 3, creating equity-like stakes in new companies to bootstrap demand and reward early adopters. Digital assets are well poised to take over the world of contract exchange and tracking. Moreover, by lowering the cost of administration, crypto enables fractional ownership and thus widens the aperture of possible investors. Those features, paired with the ease of reporting and transparency from platforms like Harbor and TokenSoft, represent meaningful improvements for investors and regulators alike. So the security token space is moving along. It is going to be absolutely gigantic when security tokens kind of hit that tipping point. They hit that point where there's kind of a point of no return. I mean, by the time security tokens get to that point, I believe that the regular Bitcoin, the top 10 cryptos that are already out there are going to be well on their way to being a normal way to transact. But so nobody should take their eyes off security tokens, because they are definitely a huge part of blockchain and crypto. Developer tools. Massive businesses like Stripe and Twilio were built on the back of one mission: abstracting complicated building blocks for developers so they can focus on bringing new ideas to market faster. Such companies enabled quick solutions for money exchange and communication connectivity, paving the way paving the way for a wave of novel businesses like subscription e-commerce brands and two-sided marketplaces. Now as DApp development accelerates and the talent flows into the space, there is a similar window for businesses within the crypto ecosystem. The opportunities mentioned in this post represent just the tip of the iceberg for crypto, yet teams are facing market headwinds which demand leaner organizations. Larger developer tool businesses counter that, creating foundational solutions while selling nuanced value add services atop them. Lightning Labs is a great example, having dedicated years to making the Lightning Network more accessible and liquid, thus discovering additional pain points that they're best positioned to solve going forward. Companies can also tackle repeated blockers such as smart contract simulations like Gauntlet and blockchain querying analytics like Akin to Graph. The problem set here is expansive. Challenges from interoperability to smart contract security to reimagining MetaMask for non-crypto native developers are still yet to be, quote, solved. So there's still a lot of headway to make in the developer area, but the tools are making progress. There's a lot of standards that are being built out in the developer area. Having been around the developer community for a while, I absolutely have no issues with the developer community. They're great. They're making a lot of progress, and they have their heads down and are just doing the work. They're not really caring about most of the stuff that people in crypto are crying about every day. So I don't think the developer stuff is really anything to be worried about. Non-fungible tokens and gaming. Since the formalization of non-fungible tokens, new entities have become interested in the possibilities of crypto. Major League Baseball launched digital baseball cards. Activision Blizzard vets created a crypto-native gaming studio, and artists' marketplaces sprung up. While in-app gaming purchases have ballooned with users spending $85 plus on phenomenons like Fortnite, there is no solution for cross-game, cross-platform liquidity, and existing account security methods have proven insufficient. A second potentially explosive focus for crypto gaming is esports, as native digital assets would allow for dynamic monetization and micro-betting. Finally, crypto solutions could accelerate the professionalization of user-generated content in ecosystems like Roblox, Minecraft, and Second Life, and tipping-based economies like Twitch and Patreon. As much as we expect experimentation to continue here, and would not be surprised if this bred one of the first breakout apps buoyed by a community beyond core crypto fans. So I've talked about this many times as well. Non-fungible tokens are going to be absolutely big as well, just like security tokens, bringing things, baseball cards are a good example of something that is unique and can't be split into pieces. And the gaming industry is almost like an untapped market, in my opinion, because there's so many. Think about anybody that's used Xbox Live or the PlayStation Network. Imagine being able to move currency between games. Move even in-game items between different games. Kind of bringing some sort of foundation to that. So there's so many things that can be done in the gaming area, and that's why they definitely have it on their list as one of the 5 areas. And the last one is new business models. Cryptocurrencies inherently revolutionized the existing marketplace model, offering a monetary incentive to bootstrap utility as an application scales. Now we're starting to see business model disruptors take shape, leveraging that benefit and crypto's ease of micropayments. Our portfolio company, Audius, is reimagining music origination, curation, and value transfer, liberating artists and removing intermediary fee sharing. Along with similar models, we're excited about novel business models that may not have been viable previously, everything from prediction markets to IoT monetization and far beyond. So obviously with the ability to do micropayments, with the ability to do small payments with Internet of Things devices, small devices, machine-to-machine devices that can do payments. You can do things with BAT that the Brave browser is doing, where you can pay people for looking at an ad in a very small amount of money. It really does open up brand new business models that really never could have been done before, which now blockchain is going to allow people to do. So this is actually a very another interesting area. So just to review, the 5 focus areas that they're talking about are financial infrastructure, which has been built out and continues to be built out. Security tokens, which I have a video on that will be in the description that you can check out. Developer tools, no issues with developers; they're doing a great job. NFTs and gaming. I'm going to have to do a video on gaming. I do have a video on NFTs that also is in the description, and new business models, specifically talking about micropayments and using, because of the micropayments, being able to create new business models. I also have a video on micropayments that's in the description. That's all I got for today. Thanks. Have a good one.